Like, why is it some guys just go, hey, baby, go, what's your name? Yeah, oh, I'm Daryl. Yeah, he's having a couple of drinks after work. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, give his number. You know, there's people who do that in Australia and all sorts of other variations around the world. People who just, like, don't have that in their head, right? Like, and are they more worthy or less worthy than you? I mean, probably less, but, like, there's just like, I want that, I'm going to go for it. Maybe I do it well, maybe I do it in a really dumb way. Maybe it's classy, maybe it's not. But there's something in that person. Maybe they don't even consider that question. Am I worthy? Sometimes I think being dumber is better. Like sometimes just being more instinctual, or often being more instinctual as opposed to overanalyzing and trying to rank myself and figure out, am I super worthy? But this is a big issue. All right, everyone, welcome to day one. Very soon it's going to feel like eons ago that we were here. In a few days from now, it's going to seem like a lifetime ago because where you're at right now, feeling a whole bunch of stuff, trying to act like you're not nervous. So everyone's getting their not nervous poses on. You're about to go through an intense transformation. So how are you all feeling right now? Let's check in on our day zero or hour zero feelings.
It feels like when you are about to jump on a cliff.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like
Do you do a lot of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Every now and then. Like a blanket, heavy blanket on the shoulder.
Okay.
On the neck.
All right, cool. All right, if we can measure it, we can manage it. If we can name it, we can start to deal with it. All right, so the reason I'm being specific about this with you, and you might be like, what are these questions about? What are you getting at? Right, we have to start becoming self-aware of what's going on for us, right? Because as I talked about yesterday, you're going to be out of homeostasis, you're out of your comfort zone now. Anyone feel like they're in their comfort zone right now? Right? And this is the most comfortable you'll be all day, this bit here. So chill now, because we've got an hour or so where we don't have to do anything scary. Right? So you're outside your comfort zone, so your body is starting to be alert. There's things popping off, right? And that's why I'm getting you to try and describe them. Because if I don't zero in on it and like actually just look at it objectively, then it's just an ambient sense of unease, right? So say, I don't feel good, or I feel something fuzzy or tired or nervous or anxiety or whatever, and I'll put labels on it, right? But when we start to actually zero in and go, where is this so-called anxiety or fear? Okay, we locate it somewhere. What does it actually feel like without the story? All right, because the story is where we'll fuck ourselves up, and it's totally. I mean, humans are story-creating machines, meaning-creating machines. You drop us somewhere, we'll start making meaning of things. We'll start mapping things and trying to make sense of it, because life is chaos and we have to have some kind of plan and map around us so that we don't go insane. Right? So there's useful reasons why we might do this, but problem is, especially in situations where we're not very familiar with them or where we perceive danger, even though there actually is none here, we can start to write negative scripts or negative explanations of what's going on. And then that ties into then that tends to create a story where you're not the hero of the story, where you leave, where you back off. I'm feeling bad, so not today, right? Or I just start projecting it out. She looks like she's got a boyfriend, or she's going to be mean, or she's she would never talk to a guy like me, or whatever the many stories we create for ourselves, which are all fiction, right? Because we have no proof. How do we prove if our stories are right or not? How?
Go find out.
Go and say, hi, you going, lady? I assumed you were going to be mean to me, is that correct? That's not a good opener. All right, so in this class particularly, we're going to be starting to look at this approach anxiety. All right? Now, but before we do, and we'll break it apart and I'll start giving you some very practical tools to neutralize it, and then hopefully, well, definitely over time, to transform it into something positive. But firstly, let's have a quick chat about story. So all of us are running narratives. We have an identity that we are, I'm a 46-year-old Australian man and I have these skills and these problems and whatever else, and this is who I am, right? Now that's all kind of true because it's things that I've practiced, or habits or experiences that I've repeated enough that they appear to be solid, right? So when I look in the mirror, I'm like, that's me, I'm me, I have these things I believe and think and feel and whatever else. True-ish, but it's not set in stone, right? We're not video game characters that were like stamped, that's your thing, right? We're people that learn through repetition, We create our own stories and meaning, or life and conditioning and our parents and religion and whatever else co-create the story with us. And then we have this identity of, I am this kind of guy, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this. I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert. I get socially anxious, or girls always this, or women always that, or when I'm hanging out with women, this tends to happen, so on. Yeah, we may have proved those things through repetition, but that's because we have gradually over time ground a groove into a stone that's our pathway, right? But it can be scrubbed out. We can create new pathways, right? So tell me a little bit about some of the, let's say, not necessarily positive stories that you have lived by or told yourself, or maybe been told by the world or people in some ways, in relation to you meeting women. What are some stories you tell yourself about that?
You mean in these exercises or like in everyday life?
Yeah, I mean, over the last, in the period that when you went, I think I should go and see James Marshall till you came here. What was the story because whatever was going on before you arrived here wasn't working or wasn't good enough, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here, okay? So what was some of the things you were telling yourself or you felt like the world was telling you?
Actually, for me, it was like positive things that it is possible to meet new girls like in a daily basis on the streets.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, well, then just to go there and try it. So I tried it, and I noticed that I had some feelings that locked me to doing that. So
okay.
Well, I want to learn it. How does James do this?
Okay, cool. So there was a point, I guess, you've got a new story, which is that's possible.
Yeah.
There would have been a point where that wasn't true for you, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, where the story was like, oh, there's a cute girl. Oh well, right? So
I'm not like able to talk to her, or it's not possible to start something.
Right. Yeah, and maybe you thought it was possible for somebody because you've seen someone do it, but not for you, for some reason. Something like that. Right, and at some point, for whatever reason, do you have any idea why it changed to, this is possible? Maybe, I don't know how to do it yet. Maybe I'm scared to do it, but it is possible. Do you remember how that changed?
YouTube and your videos.
All right, nice.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, this is like, you've got pre-day game consciousness and post-day game consciousness. So pre-day game consciousness is where, for me as well, for the first, I started doing this at 26. First 26 years of my life, when I saw a girl I liked, there was not even a question that I was going to meet her. Of course I can't meet her. It was just like, a bit of regret and hope, and like maybe one day a girl like that will turn up in my barbecue, right? There was no story where if I improve myself as a man and I, break through my fears or whatever, it just wasn't even a thing. And then there's a point, I remember, where I started hearing about so there's normal dudes talking to girls in the street, and that's a thing, and one of them might go home with you one day. That suddenly creates a totally new potential story arc in life, right? Okay, so anyone else, stories that you may have?
Similar stories, just that I told myself is I'm just not worthy. I'm not good enough to do this.
Right.
Or to deserve an awesome girl.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up. And that is, in my experience teaching guys over the years, that's the core problem, right? I don't know how to do it. I run out of things to say. I'm a bit scared that she might be mean or whatever. Yeah, those are the things. But why is it some guys just go, hey baby, go, what's your name? Yeah, I'm Daryl. Yeah, he's having a couple of drinks after work. Oh yeah. So give his number. There's people who do that in Australia and all sorts of other variations around the world. People who just don't have that in their head, right? And are they more worthy or less worthy than you? I mean, probably less, but there's just I want that, I'm going to go for it. Maybe I do it well, maybe I do it in a really dumb way. Maybe it's classy, maybe it's not. But there's something in that person. Maybe they don't even consider that question. Am I worthy? Sometimes I think being dumber is better. Sometimes just being more instinctual, or often being more instinctual as opposed to overanalyzing and trying to rank myself and figure out, am I super worthy? But this is a big issue. Humans have worthiness issues. Women have worthiness issues, right? Because we, if we're brought up in a village in a really strict, stringent culture where it's you are a blacksmith because your father and your grandfather were before you, and you'll be marrying that girl over there. the next door neighbor because the parents already arranged it. And you know, on the summer solstice, we all strip naked and cover ourselves in pig's blood and go hunga bunga hingi bimbi, because that's what we do in this tribe, right? Are people worried about their identity? You know, like, am I worthy or not? Okay, they might be within the context of like, you know, I want to prove myself as a good blacksmith or a good hunter or whatever to fit within the thing. But we live in this, you know, post-everything world where what does it mean to be a man and to be worthy, and like my place in the world and all that kind of stuff is in flux and changing all the time, and you're being sold 50, 100,000 different messages from different people trying to sell you different shit to tell you you are or you aren't a man and so on. It's confusing for everyone. Girls have their own version of this, right? But yes, the worthiness of like, am I good? I don't feel like I'm good enough for what? For what?
For the women I want to be with,
Right.
the life I want to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and the implication of that is like beautiful women, right? Because it's like there's and for that means different things for different people, right? What your perception of beauty is and whatever. But there's a consensus, generally a reality, right? People agree she's hot, she's not. Some people are like, I think she's hot, and I don't think she is, and there's, you know, there's grey area and so on. But yeah, it's like, okay, we got this 5'5", you know, skinny little thing with, you know, fat bags on the front of her body and like a symmetrical face, and we're like, that thing decides if my genes are worth anything. That thing decides if I'm a man, right? And so often we will put into the hands of a complete stranger the right and the authority to judge us as a worthwhile organism. Kind of sounds silly when you put it like that, right? But we're not rational. You often hear that women are emotional and men are logical. Bullshit. We're all so emotional. Men just might kind of backwards rationalize it afterwards in a sort of more clinical way, but we tend to make most of our decisions based on a feeling. Decision to go, decision to leave, you know, decision to go for what you want, decision to hide, right? So this act of, this investigation of worthiness, this is something that is an ongoing thing. And it's in many ways, it's a lifelong process, right? And that's how daunting, like, will there ever be a time where you feel 100% worthy all the time? Maybe not, but there can certainly reach points where you feel at ease with yourself, generally. Doesn't mean you're stopped. You know, there's certainly things you can improve and things you can get better at and things you can achieve. But the sexy man is the man of it at any age is more or less okay with himself, right? And that's, I can tell you, okay, there you go, solved. Be okay with yourself. No, it's complex, right? It's many layers deep. But partially what you'll be seeing here in a very accelerated form is proof of worthiness. Because, okay, most of the girls you meet here you're not going to go home with. But many of them you're going to have positive experiences with. Many of them they're going to enjoy it. Many of them you're going to make them smile and have a joke and then walk away feeling good about themselves, right? There'll be many who liked you in that moment and thought, yeah, I might give him a chance, and then later on decided not because they're girls, right? Because women are always telling the truth just changes. Yeah. But in that moment she was like, yeah, I'd do that. And then later on she's like, what's going on? Other things distracted me. Okay, that doesn't take away from the fact that you were worthy of that. You know, that she was considered you worthy. Let's dig into a little bit, but because this will be a theme that we'll be looking at both internally, like through internal tools, through discussion, but primarily by going out and testing ourselves against the world. Humans! Now, we'd all prefer to be safe and warm and snuggled up in predictable places all the time. But the reality is, in the context of dating, safe means invisible, ignored, out of the game. It's imperative that you rewrite the stories you've been carrying around in your subconscious from being a victim, being someone who is in danger, to the hero of your hero's journey. Now, the simplest and fastest way to do that is to join myself and my world-class team for my upcoming workshop in Budapest, Hungary, happening from the 11th until the 17th of June. If you'd like to find out more, spots are very limited and selling fast. Click the link below, get on a call with us, and we hope to see you on the first day of the workshop. And if not, see you in the next video. Peace.